He didn't know how good at waiting she was. It was time to go. She wished she had something to eat, something to wear, shoes. She knew she couldn't wait any longer, though. Last time, she had screamed, and he had breathed fire with his hands and his belt. She wouldn't make that mistake again. Couldn't wait for next time. She had to go. She eased the window open and slipped outside, shivering anew in the cold night air. She glanced back to make sure the lights were still off. Good. She had waited long enough this time. She turned left and tried to run. Her bare feet hurt too much when they hit the pavement. He was good at breathing fire on places no one looked. She tried walking, and that came easier. She didn't look back again. Chapter 1. When Mackenzie Wilson's work phone rang at 2 a.m. that Tuesday, the lithe blonde was fitfully awake. She was stretched out on the couch, making her way through a 3-week buildup of reality programs on the TiVo and sipping an Angry Orchard hard cider. She had finished a big trial the previous Thursday, and the Tucson jury was still deliberating. After 7 years, the assistant district attorney still couldn't get a full night's sleep while waiting for a verdict. That night was no different. While watching TV, Mack had been idly flipping through a police report on a pair of home invasions in a neighborhood less than a mile from her condo. The police suspected the burglaries were sexually motivated, but as far as Mack could tell, they had no hard evidence to support that theory. They certainly didn't have a suspect, and she wasn't even sure why they'd bothered to send her the report this early in the investigation. The phone rang again. She sighed, hit the pause button on the TiVo, pulled the phone out of her gray Arizona State sweatpants pocket, and tossed the reports onto her table. No caller ID showed on the screen, which meant it was probably a cop. Unfortunately, she had drawn the short straw and was the on-call sex crimes attorney that week. In addition to waiting out her deliberating jury, she could get called at any moment on a breaking case. "This is Sex Crimes, ADA Wilson." "Hey, Mac," a familiar baritone voice said. "This is David Barton." She had known and worked with Dave, a sergeant with Tucson Police Department's Special Victim Squads, since she had started working sex crimes 5 years ago. Mack liked and respected him and his detectives. If Dave was calling at 2 a.m., it was serious. "Hey, Dave. What's up?" "I'm sorry to bother you," he said, sounding tired. "But I need you to come out to a scene I've got going." Mack was surprised. One of the few advantages to working sex crimes, as opposed to homicides or gang cases, was that there were almost never active scenes. It was extremely rare for police to ask for a prosecutor's presence during a new investigation, especially so late at night. This was the first time she'd gotten such a request. The fact that it came from a trusted colleague, a big and gruff long-timer who hated these calls himself, caused her to shiver involuntarily. "About 2 hours ago," he continued in a monotone, "we got a call that a naked kid had wandered into this Circle K." Mack heard someone asking the officer something. "Sorry, hang on a second, Mack." It was hard to hear Dave clearly, but there was excited conversation in the background. Within seconds, she heard a car door slam, and the noise died down. "That's better," he said. He coughed. "The clerk thought the girl looked to be about 11 or 12. She tried asking for her name, phone number, anything, but the kid wouldn't say jack." Mack had 100 questions already, but tried to be patient. After another pause, she heard Dave sigh. When he spoke again,